right now, guys, I would say here's the deal. It's not about planning. It's about action.
Welcome to another episode of the Waking Up to Win podcast series. I'm your host, Mark Pesson, Chief Learning Officer at Realty ONE Group. Each day, we're proud to bring you industry leaders to provide you messages which are relevant, timely, and shared in a way to empower you, the real estate professional, to experience today's challenges as true opportunity. Today, I have the great fortune of speaking with what I consider to be a celebrity in the coaching world. Debbie Grote is with us, and I appreciate Debbie being here today, spending some time and sharing some wisdom with us. For those of you that have been through our One University training, Debbie is the professor of the One University and has delivered countless hours of training to agents throughout our organization. So, Debbie, thank you for being with us today.
Of course, you guys are my favorite. So, and of course, they may not know it, that my husband works at the Realty ONE Group in Huntington Beach. So we're kind of in the family.
That's right. And how is Don doing?
He's doing good. He took 2 listings on the couch on the weekend and
I love that.
Did a little quick video that the seller made, put it in the MLS and sold it subject to interior inspection. So, hey, where there's a will, there's a way, right?
I think it's fantastic that you're that close to it, because you're coaching agents around the country. And so for you to be able to live with an agent that's practicing the activities that are working right now I think is probably invaluable.
Definitely. I always say I'm living the dream every day, right along with everybody else.
That's right. So, the topic that keeps coming up quite a bit with agents around the country that we're talking to is how they can survive this, what we consider to be a temporary health crisis. It's really not a financial crisis, but a health crisis. But they want to know, how am I going to continue to do business? How can I earn and continue to close transactions? And I know that you are coaching a lot of agents right now and talking to a lot of agents and probably hearing some great ideas and things that are working. But could you share with the audience some suggestions about things that agents could be doing in today's market to survive and thrive?
Absolutely. And I guess probably some of the agents that will listen to this, like me, they've been in the business a long time and they know that we've survived other things that we thought, oh my God, this is just going to kill us. Fixed rates of 18%, stock market crash of 87. We had not a great market early 90s, in 2008 and 9/11. I mean, we've always managed to come out the other side of these things, and in many cases, much stronger. But as you mentioned, this is not a financial crisis. It's a health crisis, and it will pass. This too will pass. And, Mark, you and I were talking about the fact that, it's going to be pretty weird from April and some parts of the country even into May. And then we'll start to see light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm really working with the agents that we coach to say, all right, let's really use this as a time to reconnect. So one of the things we have them focused on is reconnecting with all of their past clients, their sphere of influence. What I would suggest, though, if any of the agents listening are working with old scripts, 30, 40-year-old scripts, probably not good to use those right now. If they would like, I'll, just give them my email, debbie@forwardcoaching.com, and you can just reach out. I just wrote 5 or 6 brand new scripts that we haven't even posted anywhere yet. So if you are listening and you'd like those, let me know. But I think just starting off, Mark, by saying, how are you? We're here under house arrest and I'm doing some work in my computer and your name came up and I just want to check on you. Are you okay? How are you navigating this? Is there anything I can help you with? I have a lot of vendors and connections in the community. And, by the way, Mark, people have been calling and asking me, how's this impacting the real estate market? Do you have any questions? So I just keep it light and just open that door. Do they have questions? Now, Mark, what I'm sharing with our clients is they may find that the people are extremely distressed for whatever reasons that are going on in their life. And if that's the case, that it's probably just going to be mostly checking on them. Other people, though, are, hey, yeah, game on. I can't wait till I get out of my house and back to work. But hey, what's really happening? And inside of chaos, there's always opportunity. So some of your clients may be in very secure job situations who they want to know, what opportunities would this present for me? So it's just good to start the conversation very gently, kind of let it take a bit of its own natural course, and then not be afraid if they're very interested to dive in and ask, is there any opportunities this would cause you to want to consider for the year ahead?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I love that you're coming from a place of curiosity and concern and just really asking them questions about how they're doing, what their needs are, maybe what challenges they're experiencing, and not really going in for the sale per se unless they express interest in a sale. But to that point, I think that it's okay, and that maybe if you'll want to expand on this a little bit, but I think it's okay to talk about business, to talk about sales if they have an interest in doing so. I don't think that's taboo. I know that some agents are reluctant to have those conversations with their clients right now.
Sure. Please don't be reluctant. Okay, guys. And I think the thing again to go back to is you're very good at reading people, your sales. So when you get into that conversation, if you sense they're upset, they're scared, you just be there for them, be supportive. If they sound fine and have questions, then you go with it. And I don't mean you go with it in a salesy way or pushing them, but you just look at them as a wise advisor. What is their situation? What would be things potentially that would be opportunities they would consider? Because Mark, sometimes what happens is crazy things like this happen and people reevaluate their life, and our clients are telling me that as they're calling these people they know, people are grateful. They're talking for a long time because they're bored. They do have a lot of questions, and they're saying things like, this makes me realize life is short. I'm ready to buy that move up house, or life is short. I'm going to sell this big house and go live downtown and have some fun, or I'm going to go move by my grandkids, or I'm not putting money in the stock market anymore. I want to buy a rental. So it definitely sparks things. And you just want to be there in the path of that to have those helpful conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more, and it's something that we're encouraging all of our agents to be doing. So I appreciate the fact that you're telling your clients the same thing, which is stay in communication, stay in front of your clients. Don't be a secret agent right now.
Right.
Make sure that you're reaching out and having those dialogues every single day, and just going through your list, whether it's your sphere of influence or the neighborhood that you farm. But you should be speaking with people right now and not hiding from them.
In fact, I would encourage them to 10x their lead gen. Right.
That's fantastic.
So right now, guys, I would say here's the deal. It's not about planning. It's about action. Right. So if you really say, I'm going to take the next 30 to 60 days, I'm going to do the business safely that comes my way. And then I'm going to finish important projects I've been putting off, like getting my CRM up and running, organizing my marketing for the rest of the year, doing some work on my social media. I'm going to do those things, and I'm going to 10x the lead gen and the conversations I have. The agents who do that, I feel very confident that they're going to come out of this and they're going to ride a wave of momentum of what they've created and of the business that's a little bit stuck right now, because people are waiting, watching, because, they can't leave their house. The others who don't, who just say, I'll watch Netflix and I'll visit it again in May, they're going to be in a ditch and they're going to have to dig their way out. So it's a little bit of a choice right now, and really choosing. And I always say, you can do just about anything for 30 days. So for 30 days, they 10x their lead gen. I think it's going to pay great rewards for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree. To me, it's like reminiscent of agents that don't really do any lead generation in November and December, and then come January, they have no leads, no business.
Right.
And I think it's the same scenario right now. They need to be building for the future business, and there is going to be a lot of pent-up demand from buyers and sellers that have been sitting on the fence and waiting for this thing to kind of pass behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thought on this too, Mark, when they're having these conversations, one of the things I'm encouraging the agents to do is really be a market expert. Now, that doesn't mean that we have a crystal ball and we're going to be able to make promises or predictions to them about what's ahead. What I'm talking about, though, is know your data. I'll give you an example. Great agent we coach in Santa Barbara who was working on a $1.6 million deal. Seller didn't want to take a reasonable offer because they said, well, I don't think there's anything selling and, I'm going to wait. And he was able to go back and say, well, in the last 30 days, exactly the same amount of homes sold that sold in the previous 30 days before this happened. And he used his market statistics to show the seller, this is a good offer. This is a good time. This may be your window of opportunity. You need to take it. But it was all based on MLS data. And so they should be watching that. And also, I think it will make them feel encouraged, even if you don't have a sale today, but you see that sales are occurring in your market. I think that gives you a better perspective, right, than sitting alone in your home office.
Yeah, I think it would give you confidence to know that there's opportunities out there for you to do business and then have those dialogues with buyers and sellers to say, yes, transactions are happening right now.
Yeah, and I also would have a fabulous lender on speed dial.
Yep.
Because right now there's a lot of bumpiness going on, as many of you know. I talked to a terrific lender that we work with personally, I guess you'd say our family lender, and he said it's going back to old school underwriting. So they're going to be looking carefully at FHA and VA because of the small down payments. They're going to be looking at the jumbos, and they're going to look at the whole picture. What do they do for a living? And what's their history? And so it's good just to be aware of these things. None of it's really negative. It's just nuances to navigate, but you need to be able to speak to those things and also to make sure the lender you're working with can get the deal done, right? So I would be very, very cautious with your buyers and even accepting offers on your listings, cross-qual if you can, encourage them to use good people, just because that may really make or break your deal.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that having a lender that really knows what's happening right now and knows what products are available and what the underwriting guidelines are, and those continue to change, is probably worth their weight in gold in this market.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I was thinking before we got on, what would be some other things? And I guess, I was talking to Dawn about this last night, and, both of my daughters are licensed, so we're truly, immersed in the real estate world here. And I said to them, there will not be normal again. This will be a new normal. And I think it's going to change the lives of real estate agents who embrace it in a very good way. And what I mean by that, Mark, is what we've all seen is the consumers of all age groups have been forced to accept virtual platforms, right? To get on a Zoom, to be connecting, electronically and things that have never been so widely accepted, like doing a listing presentation via Zoom or a buyer consult or a virtual event. Many of our clients are doing virtual educational events. Yeah. Where they're inviting their list inviting and interviewing a lender. They're forming their own virtual networking groups. These things and virtual open houses, my biggest favorite of all. And Don hates holding open houses. So he's like all about the virtual, and they may go back to doing face-to-face events and face-to-face open houses, but that doesn't mean they couldn't also do these virtual things that are very effective and actually attract a different audience.
Yeah, and I think and you've probably seen this with a number of your clients, I think it's forced a lot of our agent population to do things that maybe they had been reluctant to do before, like use video or get in front of a video camera to conduct business. And so it seems like, from my observations and from our team's observations, that we're seeing a lot more brokers and a lot more agents utilize video in ways that I know our consumers have been asking us to do for a long time, but a small percentage of our agents have actually done so.
Yes, it is a silver lining. And the nice thing about it, they don't have to know a lot of things. So in other words, only reason I mentioned Zoom is it's easy. And I think right now it's free for, up to 50 people in 2 hours. But it's very easy using your phone to video a house or do Facebook Live to do a virtual open house. It's really a couple of different tools, and you're going to use them repetitively for multiple applications. So it's not that hard.
No, it's actually pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Make your list and then use the next month to practice, to master them. Heck, your family are sitting in their house across town, bored out of their minds. So practice on them. Right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned a little bit about virtual open houses, virtual listing
Mhm.
presentations. Is there training available for agents that are maybe, novices at those types of things? And is it something that you're coaching people on how to do? Are there online resources that you think agents could go to learn how to do those more effectively?
Yeah, and I'm sure there are a lot of, online things you could do. What we're doing here in the forward coaching for our private coaching clients is you've met Pete Mitchell. Pete
Of
Mitchell
course.
is the back end creator of the One University. And I've actually hired Pete at no additional cost to our members to do some at least once a month, two days, 4 hours each day. We did day one of the first session today to teach them about all of these things, how to do it, where to go, what to buy, what not to buy, so they don't, get taken advantage of. And then ongoing, we're going to add an hour session every week on a new piece. In fact, what he's going to do, which I think will be kind of fun, is he's going to actually go with Don to one of Don's vacant properties, obviously maintaining social distance with their
Hmm.
mask and whatever. And they're
Right.
going to actually do the virtual open house so that we can come back, use that to train our people. And I've even added a weekly Ask Pete session where they can dial in and ask him questions, email him things to answer. So, yeah, I felt like it was important to bring him to the forefront inside of our
Yeah,
coaching.
he's an expert, so that's
Yeah, so
fantastic.
he can help them, and he's got a pretty good knack of breaking it down. So if they don't have access to that, then I would say yes. Look at the tool or the application you're interested in, and just dive in and get somebody younger. You take a teenage son, daughter, they can probably figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. My teenage daughter loves to critique the way in which I use my devices, so I'm sure that she could probably teach me a thing or two.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time too.
Sure.
I do. So yes, they can help you get it up and running, but certainly if you have an interest in, talking to us and looking at what we're doing, we'll be happy to help you too.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So any kind of final words or tips that you might offer to agents in today's market to get through this rough patch of April and possibly into May, to make sure, besides what we've already talked about, any other nuggets or things that you might recommend that they be doing with their time right now?
Yeah, and I guess I would say you have the power of choice, right? You have the power to choose what you focus on. And I have a 5-year-old niece who's like 5 going on 25, and she said to me the other day on the phone, she goes, Aunt Debbie, I just need to warn you, do not watch the news because it's making people lose their minds. And I thought, out of the mouth of babes. So my daily routine on the news is I get up early, I go to the most credible source, I do a quick 5-minute check. Is there anything I need to know that's critical or is impacting our clients across the country? And then I turn it off and I do not watch a bit of it. I don't look at it on social media because so much of it is garbage and mixed messages. And I just think, hey, I don't need it. I don't need it in my day. And then we just created something for our coaching clients that, again, I'd be more than happy to share. If any of you would like to email me, Debbie@forwardcoaching.com. And Mark, you might remember on our One University, we have a menu for success. And the
Yes.
theory behind that is inside of my day, I want to have a 30-point day where I do a combo of activities and they end up giving me a point value that I can look at that and say, wow, this was a productive day. Well, I just redid that menu for success so that it's appropriate for when you're under house arrest.
Hmm.
So if you guys would like a copy of the brand new one, just email me. I'll send it to you. And my suggestion would be take the 30 points a day 30-day challenge and say, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to get dressed. There's a joke going on out there that, I'm professional from the waist up, but then I've got my sweatpants and slippers on, which is
Yes.
fine, right? But get ready so you can be on that virtual platform and really set aside at least a good block of your day where you are very purposeful. So many of you guys have been used to working at home. I know the challenge, though, is you may have spouses there, children there, chaos going on. So it's a bit more challenging. But if you can really go to work, right? Get up, go to work, and stay on a productive routine and do these combination of activities that you can mix and match. You end with a 30-point day, you're going to feel good. The only thing in times like this that will keep you from going down the dark path that you could go in your mind is positive action. And if you're taking positive action every day and you see good things happening, success is around the corner. And we were just joking about this, Mark, before we did our thing here today. I'm working 7 days a week right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing all the creative projects, all the great things. I'm not working 15 hours a day on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm working half days because it makes me feel better.
Yeah,
it's hard to be sad when you're really busy doing productive things.
It's so true. And I love the menu for success and the fact that you've updated that, because it gives the agents a strategy for every day and a goal to pursue, and it keeps them focused and busy. And they can't allow themselves to get down and depressed about what's happening, because I think that it's a recipe for disaster and failure when they could be doing so much productive activity right now if they just had a plan in place.
And one last thought, I look at it this way. I think in challenging situations, whatever they might be, leaders show up, right? And I think, okay, we can all be leaders. We can be leaders in our community. We can be leaders for our great clients and fans. And we can be leaders and great examples for our family. And, I said to my husband the other day, I have 27-year-old twin daughters. Some of you have met Taylor. Erica owns her own transaction coordination business here in Orange County. And I had the thought, wow, I hate it that they're living through this. But then I said to Dawn, it's probably not that I would ever wish it on the world, but it will change them in a good way, because they will see life is not always easy. And
That's
how
right.
do you meet those challenges? And, I think as the mom, I have to show up and show them you power through.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, guys, there's days where I go, crap, this sucks.
Yep.
Right?
So
and
true.
then I think, okay, chop. I got to be a good example here for my team, for the people we work with, and for my kids. So leaders show up, right? Just show up and be a leader, and you will be stronger because of that, I know for a fact.
Such a good point. And I think that it's teaching people, and they may not necessarily know it in the moment, but they'll come through this experience more resilient than ever. So yes. I think that it's an incredibly valuable lesson that they'll take away from this. And again, not something we'd wish on anyone, but life has a way of throwing challenges us and making us stronger for it.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of a year ago, we could have imagined this, and now it feels like a month is a year long right now, right?
Yeah,
but
that's right.
We are working through it. I mean, we're not out of the other side, but we are really working through it relatively quickly. It doesn't feel that way, but it actually is. And I would just encourage people, do not give up on your 2020 goal. Just double down right now, do the work you need to do, and then you can ride that wave of momentum and catch up, right? It's not gone. It's only April. We still have a lot of time.
I think that that's an excellent place to bring things to a close. Debbie, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I know that our listeners are going to get a lot out of this podcast. And if they want to get more information, where can they visit you online to learn more about what you're doing for your customers?
Yeah, they can go to forwardcoaching.com. But also, guys, you're welcome to just email me direct, Debbie@forwardcoaching.com. Just, say I'd like the scripts, I'd like the menu for success, or, have an interest in finding out how coaching works. And I'd be happy to speak to you personally. So we're here for you guys. So just keep doing the good work.
Wonderful. Thank you, Debbie, so much. I appreciate it. And we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. And a special thank you to all of our listeners for continuing to join us each day. We are committed to bringing you experts to keep you in the know and ahead of the curve. Because remember, friends, by working together, we will achieve greater success faster.